Have I improved and does it show? Now, regarding the 8 competencies as the base for our scale of improvement, I think that with nonverbal support, I have made incredible strides toward improving myself. There's always room for improvement with everybody in every competency. Nobody's perfect. To preface that. Now, with nonverbal support, in my first speech, impromptu speech number 1, I was looking away from the camera. I wasn't focused on actually giving my full attention to the audience and the camera. Being in front of a camera was a little uncomfortable for me, but over time, I think I have improved quite a bit. Now, in my first speech or in one of the discussions, I mentioned that I became hyper focused on small, minute movements that probably weren't picked up in the camera. I think I've also improved on that. I haven't been noticing them nearly as much anymore, especially in this speech. Now, of course, as soon as I mention that, I'm going to start noticing it, but moving on to what I lack. Now, when it comes to the 8 competencies, I lack in the introductory portion. I made a huge mistake when it came to the introduction. It's supposed to be the attention getter. It's supposed to engage the audience and reel them in so they listen to your speech, get them engaged. I started off like how a YouTuber would do an introduction to the video, or how people in different media creation engage with their audience, which is not conducive with a speech. It became a habit, and it's one that I've been trying to break, but it didn't seem like it was. It didn't seem hard, and it is hard to break habits like that. It's something that I've been working on, at least attempting to. It hasn't really shown through in my work, but hopefully in the future, that is something that I can improve much, much more. Another thing that I probably should work on and need to work on actually is my organization skills. Organizing a speech to help the audience better digest information is very important. It is arguably up there in the top 3 most important competencies. Is it something that I am failing at? No, but it is something that I really need to improve in. I'm not failing in it, but there is definite room for improvement. Something else that I've noticed throughout my speech is I'll reference some data or information that I've gathered in research. I won't cite my sources in the speech, or I won't reference where I found it. That is something that causes a bit of distrust in your audience because you're just pulling information out of thin air in their eyes. In my eyes, I had already done the research and I knew the information was solid, and I had gone through the steps, and I just wanted to present the information and keep the audience from having to go through the grueling process of searching for hours, and without referencing it, I was doing the very thing I was trying to avoid. That is something else I need to improve on. Now, how has my understanding of communication changed? Everything has changed. Every single conversation, speech has a type. It's whether it's persuasive, argumentative, informative. Every speech and conversation has a type. And if you tailor your speech to how the audience thinks and what you tailor it to the audience and what the speech is about, you will greatly improve the quality of your speech. Now, that isn't to say that you can't have back and forth banter and there's no meaning behind that. Of course, that's also important to do. You have got to let loose every now and then. But when it comes to speeches, every single one of them has a type, and identifying the type and identifying the audience are 2 of the very key components to being able to produce a quality speech. Now, what have I learned that I will use in the future. Some things that I've learned is everything. I'm going to use all of this in the future. There isn't a single thing that I've learned in this class that will not be used. Every piece is important because without one piece, you're going to be sacrificing a certain amount of quality, and that's something that I simply don't want to do. I don't want to sacrifice quality for simply no reason at that point because I'd already learned it. I've already learned it. Why not use it? The most important thing I've learned, though, one that will stick with me the most, is the Pathos, Logos, and Egos module within this course. I believe that a combination of the Pathos, Logos, and Egos module, along with identifying the audience and type of speech, are the three key components to making a speech of good quality, of excellent quality, even. That is something that I will use every time I make a speech. And to continue growing in this field, I wouldn't say it's a job field, but to continue growing this communication aspect of myself, there's only one way to do it. It's just to keep communicating and keep talking. The more I've noticed with myself, at least, the more I speak and the more I communicate and produce speeches, the better I get. Because once I produce a speech, you look back on it. Okay, I need to improve X, Y, Z. You improve those things, and then you realize, okay, now that I've improved X, Y, Z, where else needs improvement? Okay, the nonverbal support needs improvement now because I didn't have a slideshow. And then you just build off each one over and over until you are comfortable or at least satisfied with the result. Thank you.